Good evening, everybody. I've been hospitalized since Monday and came out on Friday afternoon for knee pain. I went in with knee pain and I came back with knee pain. Yeah, uh, they injected hyaluronic acid gel into the knee. However, it didn't really help and it's still very painful. There is a slight difference. However, the pain persists, especially in walking. They feel here that the pain comes from the back. They took a scan from that, a MR scan, and it reveals there is a herniated disc at L4-5, at 5, level 5. However, they don't need surgery, they said. However, they recommended this corticoid injections, and I didn't feel well about that. And I said, Lord, that your will be done concerning this. If you feel I should get it, then I'll get it, I'll take it. But when I went down to the surgery the next day, my funds was depleted, for the X-ray part of it. I cancel it, and thank God for that. And I still trust in God for His healing. There are two trees, tree of good of evil and tree of life. God said, I've given you of every tree and herbs for food. Yeah, so Satan mixed theirs with Revelation 12, not Revelation 18 verse 23, and that's what's happening. And people take what the doctors give. These are demanded from the elite to doctors to give that to you, and that is how these companies get rich. However, there is something that I want to ask you for your help in this knee pain so much, but it is the neuropathy in my leg that was compromised again by prednisone that they gave me. That is estros that they gave me last year, October, and this woke the neuropathy up again. It's fine, and actually more damage occurs there. But this is the only thing that might help. This allowance for advanced nerve support, and now this you only get in America. It's stabilized R-alpha lipoic acid with all the vitamin complexes, and benfamine. This is very good. These two works together. But they have to be the R, and they don't get that here in South Africa. And then herbs for fast-acting support. Now it's 159 for 5 bottles. However, if you buy 5, you get 3 extra, which is 8 bottles. But I don't even think I'll finish the 8 bottles because Jesus will come shortly, even before that. I will share some of them with my wife, who also have neuropathy, especially in her back. Very irritated, funny feelings, and she can't sleep at night, and also in one of her legs. So I really appreciate you if you can help them. I'm really asking for help just for that amount to buy this complex. And I'll really appreciate it if you can. Much love and blessings from here. I thank you for it. And then there's also that temporarily I have a youngster that's helping me. I can't move around yet. I tell you, it's so painful walking, and there's a lot of stairs in my place. Yeah, and he is helping me. I got him now for the last 3 years, but I hire him only for 2 days, Monday and a Thursday. But he have to come in now every day, just for a few hours, 3 or 4 hours, and I need financial help with that as well. I thank you very much. I pay him about 100 rand for 100 rand. I don't know how much, $18. I give him food and etc. But I give him half of that for a day if he still just work for 3 hours. And he's satisfied with that. So I'll appreciate if you can help me with that. The rapture in appointed times of God. I said this is what I will discuss. Is it September or October 2025? We have to go according to the Bible, what the Bible says, and Genesis 1 verse 14 is a key, my people. That is a key. And if you look at that, is Genesis 1, I'll discuss that now. However, I'm just going to deal with the basics now so that you can understand whether it is September or October, and then I'll discuss September and then October in another video. So I don't want to be long here. The appointed times of God are governed by the stars, the sun, and the moon. So now the sun revolves around the constellations, and Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel are named after them. As Levi Levi is Libra, and it may not be correct 100%. But Ephraim, definitely Ephraim and Manasseh, the birth went to Joseph, and then the birth actually went to Ephraim because he was the youngest, because Jacob switched his hands. So Ephraim is America, and Manasseh is Britain actually. And then you have Gad, which is Aries. Now that is where God's month starts. Aries is the first month. Now the sun have to be in Aries for Passover, people. That is the key in God's calendar. So it started actually, the sun came into position into Aries on April the 28th. However, Passover was on the 14th when the sun was still in Pisces. You hear what I say? The sun was in Pisces and it was not in Aries. And that is a requirement because God, when Jesus died on the cross, the sun on 14th of Nisan, if you call it like, or 14th of the month of Aries, that the sun was in Aries. And even when Israel left the Exodus out of Egypt, the sun happened to be in Aries. So that is just a short version of that. Now that is how the sun actually moves through this is not the correct names behind it. This is just an example to give you how the sun moves around the constellations here, and where the moon actually appointed God's appointed times. The sun, the moon, and the stars. That also bring in the spring equinoxes. However, the sun actually leans more over to the left present. Let me tell you, 30 years ago, I was having a taxis, and I used to ride one myself, by my own taxis, and and precisely the sun that was in July, the sun happened to come up about 10 to 7, that's a 6:50 in the morning. And now currently, that was in July 1995 when I had a taxi. Now 2025, the sun in the same month is coming up at 20 past 7. 20 past 7 in the morning. So you can see how the sun moved, So the sun is the one that directs the month when the appointed time should be. Okay, so I hope that you understand that. And this is how it revolves around the sun. Scorpio, which is the names actually is out there. I didn't put the names in there. And give you the winter solstice, the spring solstice, fall solstice, and the summer solstice. That normally changes, but I slightly believe it changed. Normally September actually is a time that for winter, the beginning, but in actual fact, it's a few weeks later, and that's where it's around about 23rd September, 22nd September, that the actual spring in our time starts. I hope that is clear to you. So then you have the 12 months, 12 tribes, and the 12 constellations. That is how you are part of God's plan, and I believe you are the sand of the sea and the stars in the sky when God said to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I truly believe it. I still want to make a video that I mention it in parts in other videos, but a separate video just about that. Yeah. Now Genesis 1:14, that is God's calendar, the sun, the moon, and the star. The sun moves into the constellation Aries, marks the beginning of the spring and the northern hemisphere. And this aligns with the timing of Passover, God's festival celebrating Israel exodus from Egypt. Passover begins on the 15th day of the Hebrew month calendar. Calendar of Nisan. That is when Aries, the month of Aries begin, which is typically falls on a full moon of the spring equinox, and then the sun still for that after the 15th day, the sun is still in Aries, people. Okay, the spring equinoxes, which, when the sun crosses the celestial equator, is also known as the first point of Aries. Do you hear that? The spring equinox, when the sun crosses the celestial equator, is also known as the first point of Aries. To do with the precession, it's now located in Pisces. As I told you, my example about 30 years ago, you can see how the sun moves. Now here is more detailed explanation. Aries and spring, the sun into Aries signifies the start of the spring in the northern hemisphere. That was during the ancient times when what was like. But now, as I said, the sun has shifted. It's actually now a month later, and that is why they say the calendar is off and the renewal of the rebirth. Yeah, Passover timing. Passover is a spring festival that begins on 15th of Nisan, or if you can put it in the month of Aries. That was in the beginning when the tribe, they didn't call it now, it's the current administration that may have mentioned it, Nisan, and mentioned that, give it that names. But before, there used to be a month, Aries, Aquarius, Julian, etc. If you hear what I say. Yeah. Now the first month of the Jewish calendar, which is determined by the lunar cycles. The lunar cycles and the equinoxes. Passover is time to occur after the equinox, spring equinox, specifically when the first full month of the month occurs. The first point of Aries, while the sun enters into Aries, traditionally marks the spring equinox. The Earth's precession, the sun, has shifted to the point to the constellation of Pisces. So you see now the sun was in Pisces on 13 to 12 April. That is not Passover. Passover must be in Aries. The sun had to be in Aries, and that only happened with the start of the new moon. That the sun moved into Aries on April the 28th. So the 7th of May was the actual Passover, and the 7th of July, not in June, happened to be when the sun is in Gemini. And that is Feast of Pentecost, people. Aries as the cardinal sign. Aries is the cardinal sign. Aries is a cardinal sign known for initiating in new seasons and endeavors. Yes. So that is it. This aligned with the spring equinox as time of new beginnings. Modern now. God doesn't go according to modern. God is not modern. He is still on his actual ancient times. So modern Passover celebrate adheres to the traditional lunar calendar, ensuring the festival falls after the spring equinox. It's just not really so, because the sun did move. Even though the equinox itself is no longer aligned with the constellations of Aries. Yeah. So you have to go according to the sun, because that appointed God's appointed times, people. That is exactly what it says. And that is Genesis 1 verse 14. I hope you understand that. Please do share this video. Please subscribe. And I want to thank each and everyone for your prayers while I was in the hospital. And I'm not recovered from the knee pain. And it's still as it was in the beginning, and I find it very difficult to walk. And my wife is also not well. She also has a leg issue since 2007, and I always helped her. Now I am disabled in that, so it is very difficult, and that is why I had to get this boyki, this guy, to help. I appreciate your love and support, people. I appreciate and I thank each and every one. I love you and I'll always pray for you. So please help me to share this video. YouTube and Facebook, do not share it. Thanks so much.